I'm going off. There are literally no scripts right now. So I'm just, no edits. I'm just gonna talk. So, how do I start? Basically, I grew up in the 6th generation consoles, retro. It's hard to think that your childhood consoles are retro. Like, well, you grew up in the retro era? Well, the consoles you grew up with, well, they're retro. It's like, what? I'm old. What? Since when was PS2 retro? Since when was Sega Dreamcast retro? Since when was Xbox original retro? Since when was GameCube retro? Freaking GameCube, how are these retro? And they say Xbox 360 and PS3 are retro. It's like, okay, hold on, wait a minute. No, I'm already old enough. I'm already old because I'm already retro because I played the 6th generation. The freaking 360 is retro? What? No, it cannot be. The games, even till up until 2012 and 13, when still games for it, their games were freaking not retro. They're saying that Alien Isolation is retro. It was on 360 as well as the other consoles. Is freaking Advanced Warfare retro? They can't say Advanced Warfare is retro. They can't. They can't say that freaking Black Ops 2 is retro, or Black Ops 1 is retro, or freaking... It's not retro. It's not retro. It's not retro. It's literally not retro. It is not retro. It's... Well, anyway. But what I will talk about today, and if you confirm, 6th generation is retro, and I grew up with 6th generation far back in 2004, maybe 2003, but 2004, I think, is the first game I ever played, was in the Xbox original, November 15th, and it was Halo 2 in 2004, and that was my first game, I think, and people born, or not even alive, in 2005 and 04, are married. Many of them have kids. They're grown-ups. They're younger than me. It's like, what? Wait, hold on, wait a minute. People born in 2007 and 2006. 2006. They're married? Or people in that era, many of them are married and have kids now? They were born in what? Because it's strange to think. So, with that concept, with that knowledge, it's like, it's hard to comprehend with your mind. Kids not even born yet, years before they were even born, even in the womb, years before then, you're playing these games, you're having memories of these games. Even 2007 on the Xbox 360, Halo 3, I have memories of that. I was horrible at multiplayer, and I kept dying over and over again, but, I failed, but, I sucked at Halo 3. But people not even born yet. 1 minute they're not even alive or born yet, or even in the womb, or concepted, and now they're married. The next minute they're married and they have kids. They're younger than me, and they're married and have kids, and I'm just like, I'm that old. I'm literally that old. I'm that old. So basically, to start with my childhood. Besides that, on the Xbox, we played that, and then we had Star Wars Pole Commando, and Combat Evolved on there as well. Now, we play Halo 1 the day after we bought Halo 2 and the Xbox. And then we managed to, the day after, my dad bought CE. And we played that. We played Halo 2. I have memories of playing the first game, though, just driving a warthog in the mission, Halo. And I have memory of playing Halo 2, especially watching my dad and older brother play it the day they bought it, the Xbox. It is so insane to think that these memories are older than married couples now. Married couples, they're not even considered unk yet. Many of them are 18, 19, 20, not even considered unk yet, or aunts. Uncles are aunts. But here I am, older than them, not even married, and they're freaking married now, which is good. It's good. At least, continuing tradition, everything, getting married, having kids, it's great. And I'll have that one day, maybe, this year, next year, in a year. But it's still insane that they are younger and they have kids now. And the same part is because, you know, I'm that old, because it just makes me feel old that they were not even born yet and people are already married now, not even born yet. It just makes me, which is, again, it's good. I'm just saying that it just shows that I'm really old. Like, frick. I don't sound old. I sound like a freaking teenager. And without my mustache, I look freaking young, but at least I'll be able to seem older later on, like, you know, when I actually do get, like, in my 30s. So I'll be turning next year, I'd be 24. And to think that 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds who are younger, they sound more older than me too. That's the funny thing. So many of them, there are teenagers that sound like freaking 30-year-old men, you know, and then here I am freaking sounding like a freaking kid or a teenager, like 15 or 16 years old. It really depends. You know, I've heard people tell me I sound like I'm 20. People have told me I sound like I'm 13. You know, it really depends on your perspective, I guess, and what I sound like to you, and also the microphone, I guess. I'm using a headset VR to talk right now, but I didn't even use VR for years until we still had this Quest 2, and we managed, okay, now it works. Or, you know, it's working, so let's just play it. We also have body tracking, but yeah, I don't really use it. But besides like hand tracking, but not really body tracking. Anyway, basically, man. But enough talking about me being on. Let me tell you all the games I played, the consoles I played before 360 even came out, before the Xbox 360 even came out. Even in concept. So basically, I grew up. So besides the Halo games, we had Star Wars Rebel Commando, and we had Star Wars Battlefront 2, the original. We actually had one of the Star Wars 3 discs, 2005, and it was a demo. And 3 days later, we actually managed to get the real thing, like the full-on game. And I think the demo was timed. I don't know what the demo really had. Battlefront 2 original on the Star Wars 3 disc, like Blu-ray disc, whatever disc it was. But we were like, you know, I was like, now we're gonna get the game in 3 days anyway, which we did. So besides that, we played, I think, some demo discs, like actual full-on discs where they had multiple game demos in one, compared to Star Wars 3, which was a movie. That the disc we bought, or the DVD we bought with the movie, actually had the game, the demo of the game in it. That was an actual movie with a demo. We actually had discs that were actually full on multiple game demos in one disc. So I think we had that. Thanks God for this. Basically, I just remember one of my most nostalgic games, I can't remember what the game name of it was. I think we had it on Xbox and or PS2. I know we had it on Xbox, I think, or PS2. But I think both. Actually, no. I think we actually had it on both. It was a snowboarding game, and there's like this like cliff thing, or like canyon cliff thing. There isn't a mountain, but we would intentionally just, you know, with a snowboard riding now, we would intentionally ride off cliffs. Like so many times. We would intentionally die. We would intentionally, you know, break our bones. We thought it was so funny to just fall off cliffs and stuff and hit the ground. We thought that was funny. But I remember that game. It was so dear and close to my heart, just like Lego Batman was. And I'll get to Lego Batman. But we freaking, that is just my childhood. And to remember that after many years is insane. The fact that we played that, the time I was playing that, people not even born yet would be married modern day years later. Realization hit me. I've been playing games for for over 2 decades, 20-something years. 20-something years of playing video games. 20-something years. Frick, I'm old. You're so old, you've been playing video games for over 20 years. Frick. So, anyway, so, you know, and then, I'm not sure, I'm trying to remember what other games we had on the Xbox original. We had a ton. I played all these different games. I can't remember much. So we're gonna move to the next console real quick. I grew up with like not just simply Nintendo only, whatever, you know, this company only, this console. We had multiple consoles. We had 4 6th generation consoles. We had the Xbox, PS2, GameCube, and the Sega Dreamcast. Those are my childhood. And to top it all off, we had a PS1. We eventually managed to get 360 when that actually came out. I'll explain that later on. Basically, the Xbox original, oh yeah, or well, I can't remember. Oh yeah, we actually rented it in 64 at some point. Yeah, you could rent consoles in the early 2000s. We rented, in mid 2000s, we rented a game in 64, with the, I know one game we had was Donkey Kong 64 before we returned the console game. And we had other 64 games, so that's one of the ones I remember. Now, my dad actually grew up with this stuff. He actually played GoldenEye 007. I think that's what the game was. And he also played other games on the 64. Before then, he played like the arcades, then he had a Super Nintendo, and yada yada yada. Both my parents grew up with Nintendos and Super Nintendos, so NES and SNESs. So they grew up with Nintendo, Super Nintendo, so I come from a gaming family. But I'm not sure if they're the first generation to be in gaming. My family. Not sure if my dad's dad or my mom's dad or my dad's mom and my mom's mom. I'm not sure if they ever played games or not. At least not before my parents did. I just know my parents played it, so I'm probably a 2nd generation gamer from my family. And if that's the case, that's insane. Because I feel even old now. To be a 2nd generation of a family of gamers compared to 1,000 generations later on of gamers, it's really insane to think so many generations. And I'm like, I'm just 2nd. I think if it's true, then I am a 2nd generation of gamers, and the 1st generation of my family. I mean, the 1st generation of my family to ever play gamers was my parents, I think. So, of my line to ever play video games. So, anyway, I'm old. So, but yeah. So we grew up with all these different consoles, all these different communities, big communities I was part of. So, moving on. Let me think. No, we also had a Ratatouille game on there too, I think. And do we have Call of Duty or Battlefield on the Xbox? I'm not sure if we did. But no, wait. We had Sonic Heroes on the Xbox original. And to top it to the PS2, going over PS2 now, we also had Sonic Heroes on the PS2. And the Wii. And the GameCube. And the I'm not sure about that. We had a ton of, for some reason, we had like almost, if not every single Sonic Heroes port. I don't know why they didn't fund Dreamcast, though. They should have. Anyway, so Sega Dreamcast. No, PS. So basically, start with the PS2 first, then we'll go to the other 2 consoles. The GameCube and Sega. Basically, on the PS2, we had Lego Batman. I think we had Lego Batman as well on the Xbox, or just PS2, but we had Lego Batman on the PS2. We had a Lego Star Wars 2 on the PS. I think we had Lego Star Wars 1 as well, but my older brother played it. I'm not sure if it broke before I could play it, or we sold it. I just know we didn't actually get to play it, or I didn't. I know my older brother did, I think. But, you know, my older brother played it, but I managed to play Lego Star Wars 2 on the PS2, and this is before Lego Star Wars Complete Saga. I'm so old, we played these games before the Complete Saga even came out. Complete Saga was not the first Lego Star Wars game, so it's really... Man, I am that old. Lego Star Wars 2 has so many memories. Lego Star Wars 2, I even remember when Complete Saga came out. But before that, Lego Star Wars 2, I remember when that came out though. I think I think we bought it when it came out day 1. My dad bought it for us. And one of the memories I have, one of the earliest memories I have of video games, it feels like it was yesterday. I feel freaking like crying, bro. It feels like it was yesterday. The freaking scene where the stormtroopers break in and the Tantive, what was it called, the Tantive 4 or something like that? And then they freaking start, you know, then the rebels start attacking each other, and then, you know, and the memories of, like, you know, the droids escaping, and, you know, there's like a rebel and I can't remember much, but the few memories I do remember. I can't remember as much, but the few memories is, I feel like crying, bro. It feels like it was yesterday. It felt like it was yesterday. Was it 2005? What was that? So over 20 years ago. I have memories over 20 years ago. No, and not just that. I also grew up with Sonic OVA, the Sonic animated 90s movie. That was like 50 minutes long, 40 minutes long. Yeah, no, that's all. I actually remember we actually bought that in 2006. I remember watching it in 2006 on a CRT. I'm old. Anyway, but basically, so, you know, I think we had Ninja Turtle games. Or I know we watched the movies, but I'm not sure we had games. And we also watched the 2003 show. I think the 2003 show. I think we actually watched it not long after it came out, too. So, you know, when you have like kids and babies, you show them these shows and grow up with it. You know, that's why I've been a Sonic fan since 2003. I wasn't born in 2003, but that was like a baby, or like, how old was I in 2003? I just know I was watching Sonic shows and other shows in 2003, so I've been a Sonic fan since 2003. Halo fan since 2004. Or 2003, I don't know, I think 2004. Yeah, Halo 2 came out. Unless I somehow played on the computer, because my dad had a computer, and he played Combat Evolved, so I'm not sure if I ever played Halo 1 or not. Before the Xbox came out, or I think I just only played Halo when Halo 2 came out in any video game, or just Halo. I think just, I don't know, maybe just Halo games. But I play Halo 2, or any game. Basically, I think 2004 is, but I know I've been watching shows since 2002 and 2003, and then 2004 is when I first played video games, so I think that's remember. Anyway, but moving on, PS2, so let me think. So besides that, I think we managed to get Lego Star Wars 1 eventually, but we managed to get the complete saga. And so in Lego Star Wars 2, I think it was Lego Star Wars 2, Yoda, no, I think it was, right? So before the complete saga came out, whatever Lego Star Wars game we had, you could play as Yoda, and he was floating in a chair. Maybe it was Lego Star Wars 2. I think it was Lego Star Wars 2. He was floating in a chair, and I loved it so much. And they took it out in Lego Star Wars Complete Saga. I think I could be wrong, or vice versa. I just know that in one Lego game they had that, and I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was the Complete Saga. The Complete Saga came out. They took it out. I was so sad. I was so sad Yoda could not being in a flying chair. Like, that like broke me as a kid. I don't know why. I was just like, they what? And I was so sad. But let me think. What else? What other games did I? No, I know I played more games on the PS2. Wait. PS2 demo disc. We had a demo disc that had Ratchet and Clank. I think Raccoon City. I had some. I think Resident Evil Raccoon City. Or some demo, or there were some demos we had. It was a demo disc, you had different demos on the disc. And Ratchet and Clank, there was one game in the disc that was so terrifying as a kid. You're in first person, I'll tell you what the game's called. I know what it's called, but basically, you're in first person, you're walking through like this house, and then eventually this face starts like phasing through the freaking wall, and it horrified me so much, it terrified me so much, I would quit immediately. I was playing alone too. Most of the time I played alone when I tried playing I played the other games, but I tried playing this demo on the PS2. It was insane. That was Silent Hill 4. And it was terrifying. I didn't even get to beat the demo. I didn't even beat the demo. That's how insane it was. I didn't even beat the demo. I just simply, as soon as I saw that, I was gone. It was so terrifying. What I should do is record myself watching that. Like, I may actually this before, but I should actually have like a webcam, or just show my phone and then have a different external device with the thing, and just show you guys, or to record with and like show the stuff. And I just need to. I haven't even seen that scene in so many years, probably for over 20 years now since then. But I need to record that. I need to watch that, reacting to it, as in like and having you guys watch me, just see the absolute nightmare of that scene. I just remember it being so horrifying as a kid. That was back in 2004, 2005? I think, wasn't it 2005? Anyway, I can't think of much else. Let's move on to the game. No, wait. No, let's move on to Sega Dreamcast, I guess. So, Also, with the Xbox original, or no, with the PS2, we had Crash Bandicoot games. We also had, I think, the one main games we had. I remember when it came out. I think when it came out, we bought it. Or we rented it, bought it. It was like a 3D one, and I can't remember what it's called. People hate it, which is fine, I guess. Me personally, I enjoyed it as a kid. I just remember like you could spin around, attack human NPCs. It's like open world or something like that, or you could explore a city or something like that, or other places, or city and island desert thing, beach. I don't know, but anyway, moving on. Sega Dreamcast. So I played Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 on there. I'm not sure if I played any other games on there. I'm not sure if I played the one skateboarding, whatever it was. Wait, skateboarding? Is that an actual word? Wait a minute. No. I had to confuse with roller skates. Skateboards. Yeah, it was a skateboarding game. Or was it? What game was it? I can't remember the name of it. But I'm not sure. Did we play Crazy Taxi? I just know that we played Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Adventure 1 on the Dreamcast. I remember me and my younger brother beating the Sonic Adventure games. But Sonic Adventure 2, or the first one, but Sonic Adventure 2, I have so much childhood for. Because just as a kid, the Maria stuff was just depressing to watch as a kid. And it just made me just be attached to Shadow so much more. He became my favorite character after Adventure 2. Until Silver took over. And nowadays, my favorite character is it's multiple now. I can't think of one anymore. And the multiple characters that are my favorites include Shadow, and Silver, and Sonic, and Tails, and Knuckles, and Tails doll, yada yada yada. But I'll get to the Tails doll in a second though. I didn't play Sonic R until years ago, but not 20 years ago, more like 5, 6 years ago. I'm not gonna say the other word, but basically, I would say 7 and then 6. How about that? Whenever I almost say the other, before I say it in reverse by accident, I'll just say it's 7 and 6 from now on. Then, anyway, basically 7 or 6 or 5 years ago. But anyway, basically, but I'll get to Sonic R. I'll get to the Tails doll especially. But I didn't play it as a childhood, or as a kid though. I played it when I was an adult. But regardless, I'll get to him. But he kind of relates to my 6th generation childhood, kind of not really, but anyway. But basically, we have, I was talking about, the Dreamcast. Me and my siblings would always sing, me and all my siblings would always sing all the time. When we played Sonic Adventure 2, we would sing, Escape from the City theme. We would play the first mission. Was it the first level? I can't remember. I just know we'd go through the city, whatever it was, and just start singing that. We would sing mostly gibberish because we didn't know the entire lyrics. Eventually, I managed to finally learn. Me and my sister, I think, managed to, just like with Sonic Heroes, managed to finally learn the lyrics, the entire lyrics for Escape from the City. What's the song called? That I don't know, but man. But I remember just one of my earliest memories of video games, one of the defining moments of my gaming childhood, of gaming in general for me, was playing as if it felt like every kid should have experienced this. And it's fine if you didn't, I'm not saying you should. That people don't like Sonic, which is totally fine. It just feels like I'm just saying, in my mind, it felt like one of those things that was part of my gaming experience, as if it was like a definitive experience, one of the main childhood things that was a part of my life, which is singing the City Escape, or whatever it's called, singing Escape from the City with my siblings, playing the first mission over and over again. When we would die, take turns. One of the main things I remember of playing Sonic Adventure 2 is taking turns with the Sega Dreamcast. We just take turns. When we would die, we'd take turns. And we also, one of the things with the Sega Dreamcast, we had an internet disc, and we managed to browse the internet. I think it was slower than any of the computer internet at the time. With my memory, the computers we had, I think we had 90s or early, I think it was early 2000s computers or 2000 computers. They were the internet was slow. Nightmarishly slow. I remember that as my childhood. I remember seeing some forums or whatever it was back in my day. It was so slow. I'm not sure if I saw video game forums or not. I just remember I went to some forums online in the early or mid 2000s when I was a couple of years old, 4 years old, something like that. I don't know, maybe not 4. No, not 4. I was younger, but definitely, I think 3. I had to be 2 or 3 years old. but one of the main ways we used the internet was the Dreamcast. It had like an internet disc, I think, and that was like one of our first experiences. I think it was one of our first experiences, or our first experience, or second experience on the internet was Sega Dreamcast. I think we had an Ethernet cable too. I think my dad had to buy an Ethernet cable for us to actually finally get online with. My first online experience, it's so hard to think about right now. Hard to comprehend. My first online experience was Sega Dreamcast on Xbox, I think. Now, we did play Halo 2 multiplayer, so it could be that as well. But that could have been the first ever multiplayer ever played. But regardless, being online in general, probably the Dreamcast, I'm not sure. I just know one of the first consoles we had, I think, was Sega Dreamcast in my childhood. What else, though? What else? And then we went on to the GameCube. Oh, you're gonna call me old for this. The first Smash Bros. Games I ever played was Smash Bros. Melee on the GameCube. Yeah, they already said it, I'm old. And we also played Metroid Prime. Hashtag I'm not okay with the new Metroid Prime 4. Anyway, Metroid Prime. And we had... Now, we played... I think we managed to buy it at some point, but we did rent, and then in the day we had to return it. Super Mario Sunshine. And... what else? I just remembered. I just realized. One of the games we grew up with was on the GameCube. And I can't believe I couldn't even remember this. I was actually trying to make, I was making a different video that was basically this, but I'm just redoing the video. It was on a phone, now I'm recording on a headset, so, or at least with the audio. You see some gameplay or something like that, but I'm not playing right now. I'm just recording in a game, but basically, so you can hear me, with a better microphone than I think even the phones. I could be wrong though, but one of the games that... Also, I'm not going to edit this video, by the way. I'm just going to have some normal, as of just casual, just talking. But, you know, I'll also tell my experiences, so heads up. But I think I already mentioned this earlier. I'm not sure, but heads up anyway. A little too late for that, though. Basically, I mean, it's also more real to talk like this. It's more real. Like, you're actually talking to someone. Like, not a script. I don't use scripts, anyway. It's kind of... I guess one of the cool things about these series is just I'm just being normal, just no edits, just simply talking like a normal person, just a gamer talking about his experiences. But anyway, continuing experiences though. So we had a little game called Animal Crossing or Animal Forest. It actually had Animal Forest game on the N64, and I think the one in America, the first time it was on a GameCube. I think that's actually the port of the N64. Of the first game. I'm not sure. Regardless, that game. Even my mom has memories of us playing the game on the GameCube. She remembered, like, the fact there's murder in the game, there's, like, theft. There's some, like, very, you know, this was supposed to be a kid's game. They had some pretty dark stuff in there. I remember a little bit of it, but that game was insane. It was fun in childhood, and I enjoyed it, you know, playing the game as a kid, but it was dark at moments. My mom remembers, I remember my siblings, I think, but especially me and my mom. I think so much. Anyway, regardless, what other GameCube games? No, we also played Sonic 3. I'm gonna move on from the GameCube, I think, to 360 and the Wii and everything, and PS3, but... Wait. Yeah, what was it? Wait, so... Actually, let me talk about Tails doll real quick. So the Tails doll... So I've been a creepypasta fan since 2007 or 6. So yeah, 80th time saying I'm old, or 100th time saying yeah, or 102nd time, or 104th time saying I'm old. Yeah, but the Tails doll. I was a Tails doll fan since 2008, late 2008. I remember clearly that it was 2008. It was gonna be 2009, and that was the first time. And then eventually 2009 came. That was the first time I ever became a Tails doll fan. I honestly, Tails doll... I don't know much about modern day with EXE and all this type of stuff. I know the EXE stuff like 2012 or 11. Like 2011, 2012, back in years ago, over a decade ago. Definitely well over a decade ago. That's all I remember. A few things, creepypasta here, a fan game of creepypasta, and then like a fan game of another creepypasta, Sally.exe, and then there's just Sonic.exe, and that was it. Next thing you know, modern day, whenever I'm on VR, I get freaking flamed because, oh, you're a Sonic fan, but you don't know about all these 1,000 EXE universes and all these 1,000 lores. And then whenever I see Tails, I'm like, oh, that's Tails style, and they're like, no, that's, I don't know what they called them, but not Tails style. And they're like, oh, that's not Tails style, and it's like, bro, it literally looks like Tails style, bro. It's literally the exact same design. I guess it's some weird version of Tails style or something that's looks like Tails style. I don't know. It's just some copy, I guess. But it's like, I get flamed for being this old and for being out of touch about new stuff, especially when it comes to the Sonic community. And Mario. I get flamed on both communities. I get flamed in both. So, but yeah, you know, like, oh, you know, you don't know, you didn't get with the times and know all these different things. You're just old, bro. You're out of touch, bro. I am out of touch, but it's like, you're old, bro, and, you know, get back in the corner that you belong in. You know, go back to the old room. You're a boomer now. I mean, if people are adults and married now and back then, they weren't even alive when I was playing video games, then yeah, I am old. I am a boomer. Not really a boomer, I'm a millennial. I'm a late millennial. In fact, for almost 20 years, no, I think over 20 years, it was always known that millennials ended in 2002. 2002 was the last year millennials existed. 2017 is when some universities said, hey, let's just refer to, for political reasons, of course, they got political Gen Z in office and millennials in office. They're like, hey, guess what? How about we decide to say, hey, let's just make the definition, like trying to change other definitions to mean, oh, actually, Gen Z includes the 90s now. If you're a 90s kid, you're also Gen Z. No. If a university changes the definition of, let's say, Gen Z and says, or no, actually, the newest generation, whatever the newest one, the brain rot generation, and they say that generation includes the early 2000s or the 90s, or even 2000, or even takes over the entire Gen Z, you know, year span, whatever. You know, then they say, oh, you're not Gen Z, you're actually brain rot generation now. You're gonna say, no, obviously I'm not brain rot generation. I didn't grow up with brain rot generation. I grew up with Gen Z. It's like with me, but with a millennial. I grew up with millennial stuff. I was referred to as a millennial. There are people my age that are millennial. Up until 2017. 2017 is when they changed it. Also, I'll get back to gaming in just a second, but real quick, just to let you guys know, the reason why I call myself millennial, even though I was not born then. I was born like, I wasn't born. And whenever I call myself a millennial, you guys are confused. I'm just explaining that right now. So basically, in 2017, some random university said, hey, let's just refer to, you know, Gen Zers as including the 90s. And they're like, okay. And it's like, no, that's not how Gen Z works. Millennials were up to 2002. 2002 was the last year of millennials. I was born November 2002. I'd be one of the last millennials left standing. And they can't just say it's freaking not, they can't say it's Gen Z. Not even 90s kids. 90s kids are freaking millennials. We grew up, us early 2000s and the 90s kids all grew up with millennial stuff. Because for over 20 years, and for 90s kids, about 30-something years, they're known as millennial. Up until 2017, when they said, almost 30 years, I think, when they said, oh, you know, let's just change the definition. A random university cannot change the definition of a word. If they could, let's say they change the definition and say, hey, Gen Zers, you're no longer Gen Z. You see, Gen Z only includes years before you were born, instead of the ones you were born for, everyone knew for over 10 years now, or almost 10 years now. So instead, Gen Z is now, Gen Z, or is only like, I can't even think straight anymore. It's been a nightmare. I didn't sleep for like about a day yesterday, so anyway. But basically, you already get the point though. I can call myself millennial all I want because I am. Universities, they can suck it. They can't call me this and that, you know. They can't change the definition. Otherwise, Gen Zers, you would literally have to accept if they ever tell you that if you're born in a certain year, like 2012, whatever, 2009, and they say you're part of the Brown generation. If they say you're part of the Brown generation, that's a new definition. You're not going to accept it. You're going to fight it. You're going to say, hey, you can't just do that. I grew up with Gen Z stuff. You can't do that. So the exact same, card, this exact same excuse I can use with mine. With millennial. So I'm a late millennial. I'm in the last year millennials. So if millennials were to disappear, I'm among the last 100 left. So if you're one of the surviving millennials. Yeah, anyway, time to continue, but this time I'm going to use an old voice. Okay, maybe not, but basically, yeah, so. Actually, I'll use that. Anyway. I finished the 6th generation. Now moving on to the Wii. Now 360 came first, but I'll explain that in a second. The Nintendo Wii. What have I done? Did I forget to mention Resident Evil 4 in the GameCube? Did I forget? Anyway, but so yeah, well, I'm just gonna let you know, yeah, the GameCube, I also play Resident Evil 4 on there, so yeah. We actually played a demo of it, I think, before it even came out, so yeah. Anyway, back in my day, in the Wii, we played the Wii port of it. I remember clearly because I remember when it came out on the Wii, and I remember how hard it was, and I enjoyed it. Anyway, back in my day, what else did we played Mario Sonic Olympic, like 2, Mario 3, or 1 or 2 Mario Sonic, 1 or 2 Sonic Olympic games, and what else did we play? Well, we had Mario Sonic Olympics, we had Mario Sunshine, or not Mario Sunshine, it was Mario Galaxy 1 and then 2, and that came out. What else do we have? We had, we also had the original model too. We had the first model. We still have it to this day. We've had this since like 2006. The power doesn't work anymore, but we still have it. It was actually given to me too by my parents years ago when I turned like 20 or something, or 18, so it's like, was it 19? So I've had it for years now. We owned it for ever since 2006. I just realized it's gonna turn 20 this year. I would have had it for 20 years this year. First the 20-year, the 20-year period hit 360. And now it's hitting the Nintendo Wii, bro. I don't know. I'm so old. Anyway, what else came out? Just Dance? I can't remember much, honestly. I feel really sad right now. But, moving on to 360, which came up before the Wii, but we just talked about other stuff for some reason. I'll explain 360. We had the Wii 360 in 2005. It red ringed. So when the 360 Slim came out, my dad bought it for us. Or no, he didn't buy it. Microsoft gave it to us because we were among the people who managed to get a free 360 Slim because the white 360 stopped working. So we had, but on the way 360 and or Slim, we had we still have the Slim somewhere, but it doesn't work anymore. We have a new 360 Slim that I have now. But back in my day, we played Halo 3. We had Gears of War 1, Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, Gears of War... We had so many Gears of War games. We've had Judgment. We had so many Gears of War games. I'm so old. I remember when they're talking about the new Carmine, whatever it was called, the family lineage of soldiers that would keep dying every game. For the third game, they had this, like, for Gears of War 3, before it came out, they had this, like, vote thing to see... Now, we couldn't vote, but I remember seeing it and rooting for him to be alive. And then eventually, instead of they tease as if he died, and then showed he actually survived in the same cutscene. He grabbed his helmet, showing he survived. In Gears of War 3, when you actually play Gears of War 3. But I'm not sure if I managed to vote for that, though, because there was a vote. I think I wanted to so bad, but at least it was part of it, and at least I remember it. I'm that old. Anyway, what else 360 games? We had... I think there's some Sonic games. I don't know. No, wait a minute. We rented and bought Sonic games and other games. We rented. We also had Halo ODST and Reach and Halo Wars, or we rented Halo Wars. Eventually bought it years later, but I used to hate Halo Wars. Now I like it, but I used to despise it back then because I didn't like those type of games like first person, third person, and other games like even 2D. I didn't like the top-down strategy game, but yeah, like it now. Anyway, back then we rented Sonic and Secret Rings. No, that was on the Wii. Black Knight and Secret Rings, right? No, I think Black Knight was on 360. I don't know. But I played both of them. I didn't beat Black Knight, but I did beat Secret Rings. I didn't beat I was actually close in the last mission in Black Knight. Anyway, but when those came out, I'm old. So, and then what else? What else? I think Sonic 06, or didn't play it, or we're about to play it. I don't know when that came out. What else though? We had oh yeah, Sonic Unleashed. We rented that and then we bought it. I think we rented it on 360 and then bought it on Wii or vice versa, or bought for both consoles. I don't know why we had multiple consoles like Sonic Heroes. Hey, oh yeah, I just remembered. Yeah. You know how we had Sonic Heroes on the 3 other consoles like that, but we with Sonic Unleashed and others with 360 and Wii. I didn't have a PS3 until I was a teenager. Long after the PS4 came out. But let me think. So yeah, we had the PS3, and no, the PS3 is later on. I can't even think straight. Okay, I'm not feeling that well. So bear with me. We had anyway. Let's move forward. We had on 360. We rented. Actually, no, we bought and or rented. Eventually bought it though. Sonic Colors, and I have some memories of that game. That game was one of the main memories I have on 360 with Sonic games. Is Sonic Colors. Well, we had Sonic Colors. We had let me think. I can't see. I'm an old man. I can't even think straight. I'm freaking old, bro. I don't know, man. There are many old people that can think straight. Unlike me, I can't even think straight. But anyway, we had what was it? What other games do we have on 360? No, we had a ton. I can't remember them though, but we had a ton of games on there. I know Gears of War 3. I know we had all these different games. Gears of War 3 was freaking depressing for me as a kid, though. Dom. When I remember seeing what I remember seeing what happened to him, and I was like, wait. And I was like, bro, he could. If the one prick didn't freaking grab, what's his name? The main character in the games you play as. How can I forget? Anyway, but you know the one character, I think Marcus, right? Marcus Phoenix. And then you have Dominic, or I can't remember his last name, Dom. Dominic Dom. But I remember how if the one lady didn't grab freaking Marcus, I remember thinking as a kid watching it in front of me back in like whenever the game came out. We bought it, we rented it. I think we rented it or bought it. I don't know. But to watch that happen, my dad was playing it. Eventually I played it too. When my dad was playing it, I was watching, and I watched that happen the same, like, as soon as it happened, I was like, man, if that blonded-haired prick... No, they're good blonde hairs, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying the specific blonde hair lady was... I was just calling her blonde hair because the other lady is not blonde hair. I can't remember what the other lady was. I just know there was 2 ladies and 2 men. I just know the lady with blonde hair. That's one of the only. That's funny how I don't remember. I don't even remember her that much. That's one of the only memories I have of her. Is she was just a prick. She literally kept Marcus from shaving Dom, bro. If she just let go, if she did not grab him, I counted the seconds too. I think I counted a few seconds, however many seconds, when I watched that scene play out, and I was like, she had plenty of time to save it, and she didn't do anything. She just stopped him. The only thing she did was actually have Dom freaking die. And it doesn't even matter if he died or not in the initial impact. The fact that Marcus could have literally saved him and tried, and he literally could have had time with a second and then be out before it blew up. But the car thing blew up. But freaking the one lady, freaking annoying lady, freaking stopped that from happening. I blame her, bro. Anyway, an old Gears of War fan, freaking raging, of course, and ranting, because of course I would, because I'm freaking old. Anyway, let me think, what other games? No, wait, Sonic Riders. We played Sonic Riders on the Wii in 360. I keep forgetting these Wii games, so I think the 360 games, and then I'm like, oh wait, we had it on the Wii as well. We also had skateboarding games on the Wii. Like the 360 thing. No, the Dreamcast, Sega Dreamcast. We had let me think, what else? What else were 360 games? Oh, wait a minute. Modern Warfare COD 4. I'm not sure if I played that. No, my dad did. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, 2009. The original one. 2009. Now, when you look it up now, you'll just see stupid remaster clips. It's like, oh, back in 2009, we had this childhood, and it just shows a remaster from 2019 or 2020. And I'm like, bro, that is, bro, stop lying, bro. Stop using the freaking remaster, bro. If you're going to talk about our actual childhood, show the original clips from the actual freaking non-remastered. Remaster's fine, but when people flat out lie to people and just show the stupid remaster clips when they talk about the year 2009, it's like, bro, we did not have those graphics 2009, bro. Show the original stuff. It's like eye candy to see original graphics, bro. Anyway. I didn't play the campaign yet, or the multiplayer, I don't think. I'm not sure if I play multiplayer or not, or my dad let me walk around in multiplayer. But besides walking around in empty multiplayer maps, and I think even actual full multiplayer, or just mainly just either multiplayer or actual just walking around in like an empty multiplayer map, we actually did play Spec Ops Mission, the one where you're in the snowmobile. The snowmobile one, that's probably the first experience I had with Call of Duty. I mean, it was back in 2009, so I guess my first COD was Modern Warfare 2. So I'm still old, but at least I'm kind of young when it comes to the Call of Duty series, because I didn't grow up with COD 4 or the World War II games. Not even World at War yet, just Modern Warfare 2 2009, so yippee, I guess. And then we had, let me think, we have Black Ops on there, we had Modern Warfare 3 on there, Black Ops 2, COD Ghost. I remember when COD Ghost coming out in 2013, nostalgic year. But man, I played, my first Zombies experience. Now, for me, I actually played Halo 2 multiplayer back in my day. I actually remember 2006 was a big year for me, not only watching Sonic OVA. I should watch it again. I'm actually going to record a video later on of me watching it for the first time in so many years. But I guess to mark the 20-year anniversary of me watching it or something. Basically, whenever I, real quick, before I get to 360 and Call of Duty stuff, in Halo 2, before Nuketown, we had Zanzibar. That was our Nuketown, was Zanzibar. That's why Zanzibar is so famous for Halo. That whenever they had the one Lego, wherever they had the one animation, like the Lego animation, wherever it was blue Legos, back in 2013, 2012, 2011, 2010, or 2008, something like that. Whenever they had that, it was Zanzibar, because Zanzibar was so popular. Halo 3 and Halo 2. Halo 3, they called it, like, something resort, Lost Resort, something like that, something resort. But you know, its original name was Zanzibar. That is my Nuketown, bro, before Nuketown even existed, bro. Halo 2 was the multiplayer, bro. It was like the Warzone, but for 2004, 5, and 6, and I'm not gonna, but anyway, 2008, 2007. I didn't manage to say the stupid brain rot word. I managed to avoid the freaking brain rot numbers, bro. I managed to avoid it, bro. I'll say 7-6 when I count 1 to freaking 10. Oh, yeah, count from 1 to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 6, 9, 8, 9, 10. You can't get me, kids. You cannot get me to say the two numbers together, bro. You can't get me to say these brain rot words, kids. These brain rot numbers. Anyway, but let me think. But yeah, so I'll just mention that real quick. But oh yeah, and then 360 we play with the multiplayer game multiple times. But man, Halo 3 was nostalgic though. But although I am OG when it comes to Halo and video games in general, or at least for 2000s gaming, early 2000s gaming, mid 2000s gaming, bad news is the first zombies ever played was not World at War, I don't think. Unless it was. But I know it wasn't Black Ops, I don't think. It was Black Ops 2 Transit. I know, you're gonna get mad at me. But here's the thing. At my age, we weren't really allowed to play. We weren't really allowed to play zombies. And like other type of horror stuff. In fact, even I don't know, but we weren't even allowed to play that. We weren't even allowed to play the flood levels in Halo until years later. We weren't even allowed to play it until years later, until we could finally play the flood levels. We always avoided flood levels, which made it even more creepier. Anyway, and then we did manage to actually get an Xbox original. We managed to buy it years. No, we actually had it. We managed to actually get it to work in years later, despite it, you know, sitting alone for years. Then managed to play it back in 2013, 2009, something like that. I think 2013. Anyway, moving on. So let me think. What else? There was the, wait. So it was Black Ops 2, and then there was the, the Advanced Warfare. We played that. We played Advanced Warfare Zombies as well. I remember my younger brother buying the DLC for both games for the zombies, all the zombies map packs. So that was cool. But Let me think, what else though? Infinite Warfare. Wait. Yeah, Infinite Warfare. We actually get COD Ghost DLCs too. Anyway, but let me think, what else? Let me see. I can't think of. I mean, of course, then we had the newest CODs, and we had Black Ops 3 through it before we even had Xbox One 2015. I don't even think we even had Xbox One yet, so we could only get the multiplayer discs, or the multiplayer.zombies Black Ops 3 disc until we managed to get Xbox One to actually play Black Ops 3. So, yeah, anyway. I'm so old. I remember when flat screens, like CRT was like the TV, but whenever flat screens came out, they're so expensive and it's like so revolutionary. We always wanted flat screen. Now flat screens are super cheap now. We managed to. There's actually $20 flat screens I've seen on Facebook Market. I actually managed to get mine, I think, too, because it's like $27. The fact that back in my day it was thousands for 32 inches, and we paid for 32 inches or less for cheap. It's insane, but no, years later, reflecting on it from it feels like yesterday. It literally feels like it happened like just before I woke up. It literally feels like it happened yesterday, that the flash screens were just coming out, and we always wanted one. And it's so strange to think back, and it's like, nowadays it's the opposite. I want to get a CRT, but it's hard for me to find CRTs. Man, I just want to go back to my childhood now, play on the CRT TV. I'm not even play new games on CRT. That's what I want to do. Of course, having a color TV. Black and white's fine too, but color especially. But definitely CRT TV. This is what I grew up with, VHS players and yada. And then PS3, I managed to play as a teenager, but that was PS4 as it came out. I actually managed to get a PS4 and PS3. I owned both of them. And then the HDMI stopped working because freaking PlayStation freaking hates freaking. Xbox has a crap ton of problems. But at least they don't stop working. Or at least the HDMI doesn't stop working after like a month. I kid you not, the PS3 lasted longer than PS4 too. The PS4 lasted like a few months until it was like almost brand new, and then the HDMI stopped working. We had to replace HDMI, and then it still stopped working, or it was working. We were trying to sell it after we replaced it. Of course, we had to solder everything, and it was annoying. My mom had to look up stuff, but anyway. But the PS3 outlasted PS4 though by far. But Xbox and PlayStation have their problems, but they're older consoles. The PS2 was superior. The PS4, I'm just gonna say it up front. At least I didn't have to pay like freaking $80 to play one. I think he just dropped a grenade in the game. Actually, killed myself. I saw something fly, and then I just blacked out, and now I'm just here in the same spot. Anyway, that was an accident. I don't know how that happened. I'm not even holding the controls right now. I'm just talking, looking around with the headset, kind of mostly talking. Anyway, but it is insane. The PS2 was freaking. You didn't have to pay $80 for freaking the Bounty Hunter game, really. The freaking on the PS4, you could play the exact same game for so much more cheaper on the PS2. PS2 is my dad's favorite 6th generation console for good reason. For me, I can't really choose a favorite because I played all of them as a kid, and it's so hard to choose. One has the Halo games, the other has the Nintendo games, the other has Sonic games. Some of them have Sonic games too, but it's like, it's just. PlayStation had exclusives, but we mostly had games we could play on Xbox as well on PS2. So, but mostly the exclusives. It's like it's hard to choose. Xbox original doesn't have Sonic Adventure games, but the GameCube has the DX version. We did play the DX and the battle versions of Sonic Adventure 1 to the GameCube as well. I didn't like it much because the graphics, it just made it more look worse. And the fact that there was no shiny color when in Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Adventure 1, mostly Sonic Adventure 2 when Sonic becomes Supersonic, the fact that there's no like flashing color or whatever it is, shininess, it's like, bro, they freaking ruined that. Anyway. But I should just say, even my siblings didn't like the GameCube versions. It's still enjoyable though, and if you want to play that, it does have some better graphics in some areas, and there's some glitches for sure that I dealt with. And I played the Sonic Adventure 1 on 360, and it had a crap ton of problems. But basically, if you still enjoy it, it's totally fine. I still played it and all. I even played it on 360 and beat it like days or like weeks ago. It was fun. But for sure, and we had it before Xbox Arcade was taken away. We actually managed to buy it through the Xbox One, and then re-downloaded it on the 360. You can do that with 360 games, Xbox original games. If you actually had it on Xbox One, you downloaded it and bought it, or had it for free on Xbox One. If it's 360 or Xbox original game, if it's one of those two games, you could actually, if it's backwards compatible, or if it works on 360 before, you could easily go on your 360 account, or use the same Xbox One account. You go on 360, or vice versa, whatever. But use the account, basically use your Xbox Live account 360 with the games installed that you bought it on, with the same account that you managed to get it on, or even for free on. You just go 360, go to the download history, whatever it is, and the account settings, and then download those games. Anyway, that's not something I have to play the Sonic Adventure games, but anyway, Sonic Adventure. Anyway, but yeah, basically GameCube, we had those, but it's really hard to choose between which one's better though, because GameCube has Sonic and Mario games, but they don't have Halo. The Xbox original has some Sonic games, but has no Sonic Adventure 1 or 2. Unless they do, I don't know. They have Sonic Heroes, and I think Sonic Riders. They had some other Sonic games on there. I know PS2 had Riders. I think we played PS2 Riders. I should have mentioned that as well. I keep forgetting these things. I'm so old, I keep forgetting, bro. Okay, no, that's actually incorrect. Old people can remember these things more than I can. I keep forgetting things more so. But, because I met old people who have good memories. This is my memory that's stupid and sucky. Anyway, but I guess that's it. If you want me, how about this? If you want me to talk about different things you want me to talk about, just tell me in the comments. Just tell me, let me know what you want me to talk about. If you enjoy these videos, and I'll try to be more coherent and not get off topic and forget stuff. It's just right now I didn't sleep for 20 hours yesterday, and it just, I don't know what's wrong with me. I just don't feel that well right now, like I said earlier. It just, I'm not sure if it's fatigue or just exhaustion. I don't know. I've only been awake for like 3 hours or 2 hours, so 2 hours or what. Anyway, enjoy the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, share if you can, and I'll see you all in the next video. I always mean this. God bless you all.